Wait. Before this video starts, I just want to say if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate if you would hit subscribe for this channel. We just hit 100 subs and the support for me and my content keeps getting higher, so thank you to everyone in the Horde for helping us reach this amazing milestone. We're going to try and keep this going as we reach for our big goal of 1,000 subs, which would be crazy, so help us reach our next goal by subscribing. Thanks for subbing if you did, let's get on with the video. What's going on, everyone, and how's it hanging in the Horde? My name is Ryujin383, and we're back continuing my most popular series with another Overwatch 2 Legendary Skin ranking. As you can tell from clicking on this video, today we're going to be ranking all of the Legendary skins for Wrecking Ball and Overwatch 2. This video will only cover skins out as of this recording, so be aware if you're watching this in the future, there may be a skin not featured on this list. A disclaimer before we start, this list is based entirely on my personal opinion. If I rank a skin in a way you disagree with, feel free to let me know in the comments below how you'd rank these skins yourself. I just make these lists for fun and to celebrate my passion for this game in a unique way. This series is also ultimately put forward by you guys, the viewers, both in and out of the Horde, so make sure to leave suggestions as to who we should rank next in the comments below. The next time we do one of these will be for a support hero, and you can see which characters we've already ranked by checking out the full playlist for this series available on my channel page or the description below. If no suggestions are made, I end up picking what character gets ranked, and you may not like who I pick, so please leave your suggestions, it really helps out. With all that said, let's go ahead and roll on into Wrecking Ball's legendary skins, starting with our epic skin honorable mention. Heads up, there's going to be an announcement at the end of this video about the skin ranking series, so if you like these videos and want to stay in the loop, stay tuned. Taking up our honorable mention slot in this ranking video is this epic skin from the early days of Overwatch 1, Biohazard. I was quite surprised to see that Ball has so many epic skins, like way more than I thought he had. The problem I have with epic skins, which also happens to be the reason they exist, is they are typically these middle ground skins that don't change a whole lot from the base design, only enough that they are ever so slightly unique. I believe that Biohazard does the best job of transforming Wrecking Ball while still utilizing his base form. I enjoy how Biohazard turns Hammond himself here into this toxic, radioactive green form, kind of like the Hulk in a way, and it makes him stand out all the more. Many of his newer epic skins follow this same kind of model as Biohazard, where the actual Wrecking Ball itself resembles something else, in this case like a containment pod, and then they color Hammond to appear as something other than a hamster, like an alien or a prehistoric creature. That's what I've come to look for and expect out of a good Wrecking Ball legendary, so seeing it reflected in his epic skins is a great sign. Biohazard was one of Wrecking Ball's original epic skins, and it was the first one to follow the general rule of thumb that I see making a comeback through all of his recent epic skins, and even better with many of his recent legendaries. With that said though, Biohazard being the one to set the curve here makes it worthy of a mention to me in this video. Hopefully Blizzard can keep this up because I have been really enjoying his latest skins. While we wait for some more cool skins though, let's go ahead and jump to last place on this legendary ranking video. Man, this one really hurts to see at this spot. Coming in at 11th place on this ranking video, we have the most recent skin in Wrecking Ball's locker, a skin that literally came out a week ago as I'm starting to record for this video, the Overwatch 2 exclusive event legendary Ein. I am a massive anime fan. Some of my favorite shows of all time are anime, and Cowboy Bebop is at the very least guaranteed a spot in any discussion involving what some of my favorite anime are. When I saw the animated skin trailer for this Overwatch Cowboy Bebop collab, I was ecstatic because all the designs looked so good in this art style. I thought to myself, wow, this must be what they look like in game. They look so good. Blizzard did such a good job. Well, as it turns out, that was true. Partially. Ein is currently available for free as part of the Cowboy Bebop collab event, so once you complete 11 in-game challenges, you get it added to your personal collection. I don't know if it will be available in the future, and so far, none of the other collab skins have ever been re-released. I also don't know when this video will be uploaded, so for all I know, the event is already over, so take that with a grain of salt. I took a peek at it in the hero gallery and noticed right away that this design was all too familiar. Much like the Polar skin from the Tracer skin Spider-Man ranking, the Ein Wrecking Ball skin is the default Overwatch 2 design for Wrecking Ball. I'm not that shocked at that reveal though, because I didn't expect Ein to be one of the characters receiving a skin in the game in the first place. Seeing it now in game though, the only real difference is that Hammond himself is a dog now. The skin itself is fine. I still think it's fun and has lots of charm, like with these smiley face stickers that are all over the front of it here, and I really like this blue underglow for the actual Wrecking Ball here on the feet and on the parts here in the middle. In spite of that though, Ein Wrecking Ball is unfortunately a skin I would consider epic and not legendary.
A potato flew around my room before you came.
You know, this may seem a bit off topic, but I haven't played Portal in a long time, and I forgot that potatoes are actually really good electric conductors. So, back to my point, if GLaDOS can get plugged into one and still function, then why not Wrecking Ball? Wait, that's not supposed to be a potato? Popping up in 10th place on my ranking, we have the Overwatch 1 base legendary skin, Horizon. If the joke at the start didn't make it clear enough, I simply do not love the colors they used for this design. I think it's supposed to be orange, but the metal on the physical Wrecking Ball here looks more like this dirt brown color. It doesn't really fit that well, but if it were a lot brighter, I think it would be much cooler. It's very clear the designers of Horizon were trying to go for an orange and white astronaut color scheme. I mean, look at Hammond. His suit is this brighter orange. However, the outfit itself is just too dark to really sell that orange aspect. The colors don't pop at all, and it makes the overall design seem dull and uninteresting. I think the Wrecking Ball outfits that are incredible manage to balance a few specific stylistic choices, because Wrecking Ball has essentially two different forms. The best ball skins manage to strike that balance between making the ball form resemble something, and the combat form enhancing the idea of what the ball is forming. Here, Horizon doesn't stand out at all, and both forms seem lackluster. It doesn't grab my attention, and it's not really any fun either. The colors are quite boring, and unless you know a lot about the Overwatch lore behind Hammond, which I'll get to later, you wouldn't really get what Wrecking Ball is supposed to look like, ball form or not. Horizon fails at striking that legendary status, so I don't see it getting anywhere high on my ranking.
The ball's hardened.
Listen, I know most of you know me as the blue color apologist guy, because I love anything that's colored blue, but for once I don't really like the blue on an alt skin more than the color on the original. I've come so far. 10th place goes to the counterpart to the Horizon skin, another Overwatch 1 base legendary, Lunar. I'm gonna be honest, this color scheme isn't really that much better than Horizon's. They kinda went with the opposing astronaut scheme of blue and white, but with how much of the metal on the physical Wrecking Ball is just pure white, it also makes this design seem just as bland as Horizon. It's definitely superior in my eyes despite that, because the colors do look better than that incredibly shaded dark orange. While I do prefer these colors, Lunar doesn't provide anything else besides that would elevate it any higher in my opinion. It's got the same design elements as Horizon, and there aren't really any of them that I'm fond of across both versions. I will say that some of the elements are a bit more noticeable now with the all-white scheme. For example, it does make the eye on the Wrecking Ball stand out a little bit more, but not by much. Lunar may be slightly better than its counterpart, however, it's still not one of my go-to Wrecking Ball fits, leaving it at this spot in my ranking.
It's so sad Steve Jobs died of ligma.
Who the hell is Steve Jobs?
Ligma balls.
Do you think if I tried to kick Wrecking Ball, it would sound hollow or sound like a squeaky toy? Kicking it at 8th place, we have the Overwatch 1 Summer Game skin, Lucioball. With this outfit, I think it looks quite good when you're in the ball form. If some of you have never played the most fun event game mode Overwatch has ever made, and yes, I will fight you on that, Lucioball is like the Overwatch version of Rocket League, except instead of driving around as a car, you get to fly around as Lucio. Wrecking Ball's Lucioball skin is a cool reference to the Overwatch world, as well as to the game itself. Compared to his other outfits, however, it doesn't hold up with me. The ball form is great, but when he pops out into combat mode, I think it loses a lot of the appeal. They tried to make Hammond look like a soccer coach, which is fine and makes sense for the skin, but it's overall just kind of a boring outfit. I will say I do like this Gatorade launcher, though. That's kind of fun. And then the rest of the outfit is kind of replaced with some sporting equipment, especially like here in the middle with these little pads and this green thing replacing the eyeball. The armored pieces of the Lucioball components make the skin look kind of bland in combat mode, and then the actual mechanical pieces underneath those components are even more blank, with this solid steel framework here that just kind of has empty patches. I think the Lucioball outfit works for the part where he's rolling around, but when he actually has to fight, the only thing I enjoy is the Gatorade launcher. This ranking is also a bit different than many of the others I've done before, because I don't think there's a single Wrecking Ball skin I truly dislike. This is one of those rankings where some of the skins are just meh to me, and Lucioball happens to fall into that category. Lucioball is a fun skin, but it misses a lot of potential endearing qualities because it doesn't do a good job of balancing the look between Wrecking Ball's two forms.
What do you mean bro's built like a 1x1 Lego piece? What even is a 1x1 Lego piece? Yep, you're banned. Have a good night.
For a skin that's supposed to be made out of garbage, this skin is honestly so garbage. Taking 7th place on my ranking is another Overwatch 1 base legendary skin, Junker. I do really like this design though, with Wrecking Ball having been reassembled from junk and scrap metal. I was mostly just kidding there. For those of you who don't know, this skin is actually canon lore to this hamster right here, Hammond. Let's recap. Winston is from a colony on the moon where a bunch of scientists were making hyper-intelligent gorillas because they can, I guess. And then they do the same experiment to Hammond, so this hamster uses his own hyper-intelligence to flee the colony by escaping his cage and hiding in the vent ducts for a few weeks. And then he ends up hitching a ride on Winston's ship after all the gorillas rise up and kill the scientists that experimented on them. So after hiding in an escape pod, the same one from the Horizon and Lunar skins we just looked at, Hammond crash lands in Junkertown, Australia, and becomes the champion of the Gladiator Arena by rebuilding his trash escape pod into the Wrecking Ball robot that now pisses you off in your comp games. If you think that lore is insane, clearly you've never played Five Nights at Freddy's. Anyway, Junker's fine, I guess. The outfit isn't all that, and while it matches well with other Junkertown characters like Hog or Queen, there's no other super big redeeming quality I associate with it. I like some of the tidbits overall, but given how many different Junker skins there are in the game, it doesn't feel as original anymore to see it. The color of Junker is also almost entirely this piss yellow, especially on the front here, and the parts that aren't are pretty minor, especially in ball form, so it comes across as if they're only used to point out specific pieces of garbage, like these trash cans here on the sides. Junker's counterpart skin is an improvement upon this fit to me too, and I'm ultimately not a big fan of the colors here, so this is where Junker's gonna stew on my ranking.
Honey, you're gonna finish your extra creamy whipped cream and you're gonna fucking like it!
Honestly, there's a lot going on with this skin right here, but at least now we all have the answer to the Overwatch community's greatest question. That's right, Santa Claus is real, and he's a hamster. I mean, it all makes sense now. Like, how else would you easily slide down a chimney unless you were rodent-sized? Rolling into 6th place, we have Wrecking Ball's Winter Wonderland event legendary from the end of Overwatch 1, Snowman. Personally, I think this outfit should have been called Snowball, but I don't work for Blizzard, so I can't fix some of their most obvious mistakes. Snowman is a cute and Christmassy design, but when I stare at it for too long, I start to see all these inconsistencies across the theming for this skin. It's called Snowman, but the robot's built out of Santa's sleigh. Hammond's dressed up like Santa, and the guns shoot Christmas presents, apparently. Instead of the clear choice they should have gone with, snowballs? I don't mind that it's a bit all over the place with the direction it's going in, though. I know that it's supposed to be a fun little Christmas gimmick skin. I personally just don't like how much it loses sight of the snowman theme it's going for in favor of Christmas consumer overload. If the design team had chosen to lean in more with the physical snowball idea, I could see it having so many different things that would make it infinitely better. I'm imagining it with having like frost all over it, with a snowball launcher attached to the machine guns in place of the presents. The ball itself underneath the snow could be like a lump of coal or something. And hell, you could do all that and still make the hamster look Christmassy. I believe Snowman could have been much cooler, and at the end of the day, it's fine for what it is. In contrast, though, if I can dream up a better version of it in my head in 10 seconds flat, it can't be that good.
Hamster.
Wait. Hold up. We're at the top 5 already? But I just got here, man. I mean, there can't be that few... What do you mean I've gotten too used to super long skin rankings? Well, yeah, I did do rankings for 3 characters in a row who have some of the most skins in the game, but... Oh. I guess maybe I did get used to it after all. Shimmying into 5th place is the last of Wrecking Ball's Overwatch 1 base legendaries, the counterpart to the Junker skin, Mayhem. Get it? It's like Mayhem, but Mayhem. Now honestly, this one's better than Junker because of this bright neon color palette. Originally, I used to use Mayhem a lot back on Overwatch 1, and the colors on it were so vibrant that I never paid attention to the fact that this outfit is still made up of garbage. Like, you can clearly tell this is a recycling bin, and if you look all around it, you can tell, yeah, it's kind of made out of garbage. But the colors were just so fun and vibrant that I never really paid attention to that fact. I love the punk rock, but also the sort of rave aesthetic that this recolor brings, and it's so much more fun to use than Junker. Hammond himself is also way more fashionable, with this blood red mohawk he has. His fur is also a bit darker now, instead of being a bit lighter. He has this really nice accompanying jean jacket to go with it, and his eye patch is also colored to match the rest of the colors on Mayhem. The chaos that Mayhem brings is beautiful, and is easily my favorite of Wrecking Ball's base legendary skins. All the neat painted on symbols, like here on the legs, here on the front, if you can see them both, and there's even some on the sides here too, and on the back as well. They all just make what was once a very bland outfit really pop. Even though it's one of my top picks, however, it does still have the same design that Junker does, so knowing that, it still gets dragged down a tad. Plus, there are a few more skins I think are too good not to talk about further. Is anyone gonna tell Hammond about the last guys who tried to build their own submarine? I don't want him to end up like them, bro. Although, it would make for the craziest how did your hamster die story ever.
No. Wait.
Floating on up to 4th place, we have the Overwatch 1 Anniversary Event skin, Submarine. For the longest time, this was my favorite Wrecking Ball skin back on Overwatch 1, and it still was for a bit on Overwatch 2. It's so cool to use, and it's mostly because of how Hammond looks, to be honest. To fit with this nautical machine Wrecking Ball, the designers turned Hammond into a sea captain, giving him this blue uniform, matching cap, and this absolutely killer mustache. He looks so cute, but also so serious at the same time, and it makes this otherwise serious skin silly and adorable. The Wrecking Ball becoming this old diver suit style submarine is absolutely incredible. Like, there are so many smaller pieces that make this phenomenal. The eyeball being a port window to see what's outside was such a smart stylistic choice and really makes this outfit stand out. There's all these steel rivets that are on each of the legs here, and they illustrate the individual metal slabs and make them feel even more natural. This spray painted jellyfish or squid design here is just cute and is a distinct symbol that separates the skin from all the others. The machine gun barrels being replaced with just actual barrels was such a good choice. And also, keeping it cutesy and funny, there's a lot of these tiny little starfish all over the skin. I also like these little lanterns on the front here. I just think those are cool. I haven't really looked much at the back of these skins, but that's because most of them don't really have anything worth showing. Submarine, on the other hand, has this moving rotor, like an actual submarine would have to move around, which was a neat detail to put on here, despite it being in a spot no one's really paying much attention to. Gotta applaud them for that. I do have some nostalgia for this outfit personally, and while that may have affected my opinion on it, I still believe that overall this is one of Wrecking Ball's most enjoyable fits to use, leaving it here on my ranking.
Fuck it, we ball becomes far more weighty once we account for the pre-existing axiom that is, ball is life. For the latter effectively transforms the former into, fuck it, we live. And what maxim could be more gravely important than that which urges man to persist at all costs?
What's a good pumpkin joke? A good pumpkin joke. Come on, this can't be that hard, right?
Several bad puns later.
Oh my god, I mean, at this point, this is just stupid. I mean, why do I even do these segues? It's a pumpkin, man. I don't know. There's your little intro there. There's the obligatory Ryujin can't make a joke for the ranking part of the video. Ah! At third place on my ranking, we have Wrecking Ball's Overwatch 1 Halloween Terror skin, Jack-O-Lantern. This is one of Ball's most transformative skins, and I think the design team did an excellent job turning him into this giant Jack-O-Lantern. It was also such a fitting choice to give this outfit to Ball. They let him turn into this giant pumpkin in the Ball form, so when he rolls around, it's just a pumpkin, and that's cool. The combat form, though, is where things get crazy. The face on the front of the Wrecking Ball is just scary, but also scary cool, with the glowing yellow light underneath it here and these little lanterns on the front covered in vines. I love how the combat form makes Wrecking Ball look like a pumpkin carriage, which really elevates this skin immensely in my eyes. The vines here on the bottom that make up a lot of his extremities, like his legs, and also have these little leaves on the edge too as the armor. It's just so intricate and pretty. A nice contrast between this carved, scary face on the front. Speaking of the machine guns, though, I really like how they transformed the actual, like, shooter here into these little flowers, but then the actual barrel on the gun here being replaced with these trick-or-treat bags is excellent. Now, some of you may think that's a bit hypocritical, given I didn't like the present launcher on Snowman, but hey, this one speaks to me. What can I say? Hammond appears as a haunting scarecrow-type monster with this burlap sack tied over his head. Then it's painted over with this intimidating smile, and then he's got glowing green eyes here, and his ears are sticking out pointed straight up like some kind of monster. There's even smaller details here that are just really hard to notice if you don't know what you're looking for, but if you look really closely here, there's even a candle sticking out here on Hammond's control console, and there's also some smaller tags here on the side like this little ghost painting. There's so many spooky elements on this skin, and it's the skins like this one that I really admire from Wrecking Ball. Jack-O-Lantern slaps, and you can't convince me otherwise.
Fetch me their souls!
So, all dogs might go to heaven, but judging by what I'm looking at right now, I think it's safe to assume all hamsters go to hell. Securing second place on my ranking is the Season 7 Battle Pass skin from Overwatch 2, Azmodan. This outfit is a reference to a character from the Diablo series also called Azmodan, who is this giant monster guy you fight in the games. I don't have a clue about Azmodan, I'm sorry. I've never played Diablo, so I don't know anything. I want to start by saying I think giving this character a skin for Wrecking Ball was an awesome idea. Looking at them side by side, they share the same kind of physical build, and they did really well representing Azmodan in Overwatch. The Wrecking Ball itself is by far one of the most intricate designs he's ever gotten, and I love it. There's this shiny gold all over it that acts as like trim on the body armor, and it makes him seem kind of greedy, which I think is a good nod to Azmodan, maybe? And pairing it with this hellish magma underneath the gold plating is badass. The gold plating on the front here kind of resembles the maw of some evil creature, only making this outfit seem even more hellish. Then we've got the eyeball here that's made up of this molten metal core, and makes the actual robot seem more evil, and that's so sick. The eye comes into play again with these molten cores on the leg joints here, which also have this nice fire effect on them. If we take a look underneath all that armor, you can probably see it best here. The ball itself is made of another larger magma core, like Wrecking Ball's eye, and I'm obsessed with it. This is the kind of thing I was thinking would make Snowman better, so seeing it here is awesome. The feet on the Wrecking Ball have become these large black slabs of solid magma, or maybe the shell of some larger beast, and it's astoundingly well done. These guns have to be one of my favorites that Wrecking Ball has received. I think continuing the gold pairing with this blood red on it was a great choice, and then adding these spiked segments on it too is just really intimidating. I haven't talked a whole lot about the weapons on Wrecking Ball, because I think most of them just haven't really been that interesting, but I'm glad to see Azmodan is shaking some things up. Finally, the last thing I want to say about the Wrecking Ball itself is that the one thing I'm not going crazy over is the flesh armor that's towards the top top of the skin. My guess is that they added this because Azmodan is normally quite large, and Hammond the hamster is not, so it was probably supposed to further resemble Azmodan by having more pieces of flesh on the armor to reflect his bulky body. Ultimately, I don't think it works that well, and it would have been greater if they had kept up the gold and red armor on the Wrecking Ball instead of putting on flesh armor. Moving on to Hammond here, he looks absolutely insane. This might be the most transformative look he's ever gotten as of now. His face looks exactly like Azmodan, even though he still has that hamster snout, which honestly says a lot about how well this design was pulled off. All these black scales here add to the intimidation factor, keeping up that dark theme from Diablo. I really like his spiked crown here at the top. And lastly, he's got this flame effect coming off his head as well as his eyes, which is just awesome. Azmodan Wrecking Ball is honestly so good and definitely one of the best Diablo-inspired skins in the game. However, can we all agree that this fucking rat did not need nipple rings? I don't care that the actual original Azmodan had nipple rings. He's a rodent. He doesn't need jiggle physics. I don't need to see his fat rat titties bouncing around. Please, Blizzard, my eyes. I'm gonna go slam my head through a wall to try and forget ever witnessing that, but before I do, let's go ahead and get to my #1 Wrecking Ball skin. Well, that was fast. We've already made it to my favorite Wrecking Ball skin, and I think it's a very clear winner deserving of such an honor. So, without further ado, in first place is the Overwatch 2 shop-exclusive skin, Crustacean. This has got to be not only Wrecking Ball's best skin, but quite possibly one of the best skins in Overwatch, in my opinion. There's not a thing I dislike about Crustacean, and there's so many fun details and little things that add to this skin, elevating it so much higher in my opinion. Like, for example, there's these little barnacles all over the back that I think are just really neat. The Wrecking Ball is the most entertaining ball form ever. Getting to roll around the map as a giant crab, like come on, that's so good. The machine gun nozzles are hidden between these crab claws, with these spiral formed shells making up the muzzle. I think that's so beautiful and well done, plus the crab claws are funny too. The containers here are replaced with giant conch shells that fire seaweed bullets, and both of those are just intricately designed. The eyeball on this robot is so amazing. I love this darker teal and purple that are then paired with this thin orange iris to go with the orange crab shell. The underbelly of the robot is also super impressive. It's so complex and it's kind of hard to see, but you can really tell that they tried to make this outfit as accurate as possible to a real life crab. These cute fake eyes on the top of the shell armor to further accentuate this crab look are so adorable and really makes the skin so much lighter and enjoyable. Lastly, the thing I find most exciting about this outfit has got to be the insane transformation that Hammond has gone through. I don't even know what kind of sea creature he's supposed to be, but it's so cute, so individual, and so cool that I don't even care. I love his teal scales that form his fish-like body, and that his eyes up here are entirely blacked out, kind of like how real fish are. His ears resembling fins that look like a mermaid or some other creature like that are so cool, and I am fond of that purple color. Lastly, he's got this crown jewel on his head. It sits underneath this antenna here like an anglerfish, and it's maybe like a sapphire or something. I think it just pairs together excellently with his pointy antenna to further resemble a regal headpiece. He also has on some seaweed green straps like a backpack, and that's also cute. Also, I don't know if you noticed it, but there's a little bubble effect that goes on the back of the skin. It kind of shoots up from behind Hammond here, and it's so funny. And Hammond has gills on his cheeks. Crustacean is ultimately the most amusing, detailed, creative, and cool Wrecking Ball skin to date, and I can't think of another outfit more deserving of the #1 spot on my skin ranking video. Before I end this video, I just want to give you a personal shout out for watching through the whole thing. The next skin ranking will be for a support hero, so leave a comment below to secure your favorite support heroes ranking, and you can check out what heroes we've already ranked using the playlist on my channel page or in the description below. If you liked the video, hit the like button for me, and be sure to check out some of my other content on this channel. If you really enjoyed what you saw, do me a huge favor and hit subscribe so you don't miss any future content. That's all from me. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. But before you click off this video, there's a special announcement following this here, so stick around for that. How's it hanging in the Hoard? I hope y'all are doing well because I know I am. I wanted to make an announcement in this video to update everyone who's been coming back to this series on the regular about some new changes to how I make this type of content. This might be a bit long, so to sum it up really quickly before you lose interest and click away, there's going to be a spin-off series of skin ranking videos I'm going to start making. I'll be taking a look back at some of my older and outdated skin ranking videos and redoing them in my updated style of content creation in a brand new group of videos called Legendary Skin Ranking Redux. Now, obviously, it's not all the way brand new content. I am quite literally redoing videos I have done before. I get that it might sound like recycled content, but it's honestly something I have been considering for a long time now, especially with all of the new skins that come out every season that Overwatch releases. I want to go back and redo things, given how much things have changed with me, how much things have changed with my content, and even how much things have changed with Overwatch. So with that said, I hope that the Legendary Skin Ranking Redux series is something y'all are looking forward to. I'm excited to get into this, and if it wasn't obvious enough, the first one I plan on doing will be for Zenyatta, and will probably be the next skin ranking I upload. As for how this will work scheduling-wise, the rankings will continue to rotate between a support, damage, and tank character, but once we complete a full cycle, then we will introduce a Redux ranking, starting with Zenyatta until we make it through all my outdated rankings. I hope y'all are ready for Redux to take the stage soon, and until then, thank you so much for 100 subscribers. New content will be coming in the form of the Ryujin 3838 Best of 100 Subs video, where I'll be looking at some of my favorite moments across my content, new Overwatch content like Redux, and new gameplay series like Ryujin playing competitive, and more variety gaming with me and my friends. So I'll see you then. Until next time, peace out.